Hey there, it's Thorn. Welcome to my studio and welcome to Celestion's fantastic new range of guitar speaker impulse responses. So my friends at Celestion asked me to make a short video explaining impulse responses, or IRs as we call them for short, and exactly how do they pertain to us guitar players? How can we use them to make our lives better? Well, imagine this. You've got a guitar amp like this one right here, and it's got a speaker in it. Now you want to record that guitar amp, and you want to get a great mic'd up recorded tone. So there's a lot of factors that are going to affect the tone that you're going to be able to get at the end of the day. You got the amplifier and the speaker itself. Huge factors in the guitar sound, obviously. You've also got microphones. You're gonna have to mic up that cabinet to record it. So the sound of the microphone itself and where you place that microphone on the cabinet, that's got a big effect on the overall tonal color that you're gonna be able to get. You place it out a little bit further, a little towards the center, closer in, further back. All these are factors that affect the tone. Maybe you're using multiple microphones on the speaker and you're going to blend them to get an overall tone. All those factors now get compounded by where you place the microphones. Now let's take the room into consideration. Even with a close mic guitar amp, the sound bouncing off the floor, some of it gets back into the microphone. That's early reflections. That's going to have a little bit of a color and an effect on the overall guitar sound. Maybe you want to capture actually more of the room character that you're in. So you place room microphones further back in the room and you blend those in. And so all these factors come into play and sort of affect that overall tone of that speaker in that cabinet, mic'd with a certain group of microphones or single microphone. You can take all those factors and blend them all into impulse responses. Okay, so essentially what I'm saying is you can digitally bottle all of that stuff and put it into a digital file that you can now take with you wherever you go. You can use it in your recording projects. So let's say you record in Logic or Pro Tools or Sonar. You can simply take a direct line out of a guitar amp, run it into your recording interface, arm a track in your digital audio workstation, and pull up a plugin that hosts impulse responses. Load up an impulse response of a Celestion speaker, and now you've got that digitally bottled guitar tone with all those factors intact. The sound of that speaker in that cabinet mic'd a certain way. So most of the popular guitar modeling units on the market will allow you to load external impulse response files into them. So in other words, the Fractal AXFX2 or the Line 6 Helix or the Kemper, all those will allow you to load external IR files into them and use them with the internal amp models. So you can make a new preset, pull up a cool amp model, and then start auditioning these awesome Celestion IR sounds until you hear the ultimate mic'd speaker cabinet and amplifier combination that you just love. You can of course then take the outputs of that unit, run them into your recording interface and record that sound. Or you can take the unit out live and use it right to a PA system. Now imagine the sound man's delight when he realizes that you've got this awesome mic'd up speaker and cabinet sound that was done by a professional engineer in a great recording studio. It's absolutely consistent. He doesn't have to go through the bother of micing your amp anymore. There's no bleed into a microphone from any of the other instruments, so the sound is super punchy in the PA, and it's absolutely consistent from night to night. It's also quite simple these days to use traditional tube guitar amplifiers in conjunction with impulse responses live. I've been doing it for a little while now and I just love the results. I take the speaker output of my PT100 100-watt tube amp and that feeds a 2-Notes Torpedo Live load box. So that's a load box that safely loads my amp down to line level. It's also an impulse response host and it's in a really nice roadworthy 19-inch rack mount format. So I just load my IRs into the Torpedo Live, then I take the DI out of the Torpedo Live, give that to the PA guys, and they've got that great impulse response sound in the front of house PA and also in the monitors every night. So just a couple words on load boxes and tube guitar amplifiers. As you probably already know, you've got to have your tube guitar amp connected to a load at all times. That generally is the speaker. So as you're playing through the amp, the speaker serves to dissipate the energy of the amplifier as sound. Okay, so if you were to unplug that speaker from the tube amp and still play through it, you're going to blow up that amp. I can guarantee it. It's not going to be good, so don't do it. You've always got to have a load connected to your tube guitar amplifier. So if it's not a speaker, now we're talking about load boxes. And load boxes serve to dissipate the energy, once again, coming from that guitar amplifier, load it down to line level. Now things get really interesting, because then you can take a line level signal out of a load box, run it into, say, a recording interface, and record that direct guitar amplifier signal, add an impulse response to it, and now you've got that great mic'd up cabinet sound, but you're doing it silently, no speakers needed. So this opens up a whole world of possibilities for recording guitar, say at 4 in the morning in an apartment with people sleeping in the next room, but you've got your 100-watt amp cranked up into the zone and you're maybe listening through headphones. It's super cool. It just gives us guitar players a whole new world of possibilities to deal with, and it's fantastic. So a couple great load boxes here I've got behind me. I use these every day in my studio. Got the Sur Reactive load right here and the Rivera Rock Crusher. Once again, both these units, you plug a tube amp into them, they'll make the amps think it's still seeing a speaker cabinet. It dissipates the energy coming from the amplifier, loads it down to line level. You can take a line out of these units, run them right into your recording interface and record that sound, add some of these great Celestion impulse responses, and you're off and running, getting great guitar sounds. Thanks for watching my intro video on Celestion guitar impulse responses. I hope I was maybe able to answer some of your questions about IRs and how you can use them. There's going to be a frequently asked questions area on this site, so that should be a good reference as well. Celestion's just getting started into this world, and I can't wait to see where they go with it. It's really exciting. All right, I'm Pete Thorn. Take care. Over and out.